This activity should be fun for you. We're going to talk about some things that are familiar to us. So you guys are going to be given a logo, and quickly I want you to just type in Kahoot, answer the question really quickly. We're all familiar with Kahoot, so everybody got their phone out? If not, feel free to partner with someone. Dwight, you can move closer to Tracy if you like. Tracy, we're not going to eat or drink, so let's put that away. Thank you so much. Ready? Alright, let's get ready to log in. It's loading. And we're ready. We're gonna go to classic.
Nope, no it ain't.
No? Thank you guys for keeping the names appropriate. Everybody logged in, right? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you, what does this represent? Wiley. Oh, look at that. Everybody knew that one. Thank you. Depending on how quick we're answering these at this point, because look like most of you guys are getting it right. How many people know their cars? Lee. reason to increase outcome, but we started it because of the Olympics. Okay.
First place.
A lot of us didn't know that was a Reebok.
Yay.
Pretty sure about 99% of you are gonna get this one right. 100%. Tracy. It's okay. It's okay. Alrighty, so last one. Looks like David has taken the lead on this one. We all know this one. Oh wow, okay. So David took the lead, and then we had Dijon and Tracy. Is that you and Dwight in third place? Alright, perfect. So the purpose of this activity was to kind of get you guys to think about things that are familiar to you. So thinking about things that we can kind of, we know without, it's easy for us to be able to identify, I should say. So things that we can identify with ease, things that we don't really have to think about. How many people had to think about some of those logos? Nobody. They kind of just came easy. You didn't need words, you just automatically knew what it was that you were doing or what it was you were looking for and aiming to identify. You could turn it off. And so, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go, thank you. So now we're gonna go directly into quadratic expressions and or equations. And so our focus is going to be identifying. So that's why we did the builder first, so that we can focus on identifying different things when given a quadratic expression. So for example, a quadratic expression when written in standard form is going to have an A, B, and a C. So how many of you remember how to balance an equation? Move things around the equal sign, combine some like terms. How many people remember that? Hopefully everybody. Okay, I got some uncertainties. So we're gonna start with the simple one here. And so this one is already set to equal 0, which is exactly how we like our quadratic expression. So with quadratic equations, this is called standard form. So there's standard form, there's factor form, and there's vertex form. Today we're only going to focus on getting them into standard form. And so what does standard form mean? It is ax squared plus bx plus c. And if it's an equation, we're going to just put equals 0 or y. Okay? But for the sake of understanding standard form, we've just got ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? So our goal today is to be able to identify a, b, and c whenever we're given an equation, a quadratic equation. So what do we think a would be in this equation? So there's not a number there, right? There's not a number in front of a here. And I could make this x so it'll be easier for you guys to see. How about now? What do you think a would be? Because a comes before x squared. It's gonna come before x squared. So what do you think it would be? It's the coefficient of x, which is what? Say it again. 1, exactly. So in this case, A equals 1. What about B? What is B? 2. Exactly. So B is 2. And what is C? Is it C? It's -3. Good catch. Good catch. So we gotta be careful with the signs. It will keep the sign that comes in front of the number. Okay? So please be mindful because this is the first part of factoring. Right, David? So in order to factor a quadratic equation, Dwight, we're gonna have to be able to identify A, B, and C. So if you don't have paper on your desk, do me a favor and take paper out. I just want to make sure that you guys are copying this down. Take some paper out for me. Thank you. I appreciate you all. We'll just give you guys about 30 seconds to make sure we all have some paper on our desk. We're kind of copying this down since we know that we're going to see this again. Perfect. So now we're going to do one that's going to be just a little bit more complex because I think we kind of understand this one. So we're just going to do one that's a little bit more complex, okay? So we will do... this one. So it's not in standard form, right? Is it in standard form? No. What do we need to do? Because we need it to equal what? 0. So what do we need to do?
Move the 6 over.
Move the 6 over. How do we do that? Because it's a -6. Add it. Add 6 to what? So we're going to add it to both sides. So if we add it here, we got to add it here. Now, our equation looks like what? What are we going to get here? -42 equals 0. Now can you identify A, B, and C? Yes? So do it now.
1.
No, do it on your paper. Do it on your paper. When you finish, just kind of look up at me. Pay attention to those signs. Just a couple people still right here. Okay. Alrighty. So what is A? A is 1. What is B? And C? -42. Good job. Any questions? Any questions? Is this making sense to everybody? Because this is like the beginning of being able to factor. So our next goal is definitely going to be to take a quadratic expression from standard form. So once we've gotten here, and then we're going to factor it. And the reason it's important to be able to identify this and be really comfortable is because you're going to be multiplying some stuff together when we start introducing that slide and divide method. So we want to make sure that you guys are really comfortable and know how to get it to standard form given any equation. All right, so we're going to do just a couple more so that I can make sure you guys are comfortable, and then we're going to go into independent practice.